Hi, and welcome to another Partner Playbook. My name is Tonya Gentry. I'm the Chief Sales Officer for Big Red Media MSP Success. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Juan Fernandez, the Channel Chief for SuperOps. Hi, Juan. How are you?
Hey, Tanya, it's great to be here, and thank you for having me. This is an exciting time.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you guys on here. So, for anyone that's listening that may not know about your company or may just know, the name, can you tell us a little description about what SuperOps is?
Yeah, absolutely. We at SuperOps are a unified RMM, PSA, documentation, project management, billing, artificially intelligence laced together productivity tool for the managed services industry. We like to call ourselves the next generation tool for the modern managed service provider. But that being said, we're really just looking at how to solve problems and looking at business operations as a service and trying to bring innovation into a very nuanced land that we all know and love, which is called home. So we're really honored to be here and be a part of everyone's journey.
Wonderful. So, we're talking about partner programs, and I know you guys have a different way of you looking at it to some extent, right? I think you do more of that partnership in the community. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do for the community.
Yeah, I think the big thing, when we think about partnership, we think about how we're empowering our partners to be successful, right? So thinking about ways that we deliver value and the ways that we're helping them also not only receive that value, but then translate that value into my actual business actionable components. And then also what's my transitional effect of delivering a value to my end customer. And so by doing that, we look at, what are some of the challenges in the managed services space and how can we build a different kind of partnership rather than just giving you some hope and saying we hope you make it. We actually take them on a journey. So a couple really interesting things we've done the last year, which have been a big success, is like our Super Summit Roadshows, where we actually bring MSPs in and help them grow their business and talk through all the challenges and work through how to build a really articulated managed services practice, and not necessarily around super ops. Like, what are the key components of being a successful managed services business? And what are the things that I should be thinking about, whether you're coming in new or you're moving from somewhere else? Like, what are the keys to success here? And really looking at it from a thought leadership perspective and walking through and doing exercises and really figuring out, is this the car I'm driving, or do I need to put some new tires on it? Right. And so all that to be said, it's been really wonderful. It's a no sales event. It's been all focused on just helping them grow and scale their business in whatever point in time they are. And it's been fun. So that's one thing. And then we also launched a liftoff program this last year where, basically any MSP that's just getting started, hey, we want to give you some keys to the kingdom and be able to test drive a car that's really fast and like see how quickly we can get you into that profitability lane, and really giving them, the thought leadership and the education and the training around building a new MSP business, and by discounts and programs around helping them along that path. Because, when you're first getting started, that's a little bit of a challenge. You don't always have all the money to go do all the things. And so, giving a little relief there has been a big boon. And then also that guidance along the journey. So we have just come at partnerships in a very different way. We have a really great MSP community, and we love all our community folks that are in there, and all of our super pals that are in there that are constantly helping the rest of the community build. And that's not very much different than a lot of others, but we feel like there's a special sauce because we're helping build not only their business, but the future of managed service in this tool. So it's been something that's been an honor to be a part of. And yeah, that's really some of the things that we've been doing to help them find success.
Well, and you come from that place, right? You were an MSP first.
I
I think you
was.
and I were talking about all the different things that you did with the vendors, and it seems like that's what you're bringing to, the community now of saying, "Hey, I'm the channel chief of this company that's got amazing, solutions for you," but also, no, I've been there, I've done that.
Yeah, yeah, I know the road well. I've had many of IT company and MSP at this point, and I think the challenge is regardless if I'm a MSP, an IT company, a VAR, a telecom, like if I'm an SMB, if I'm any of these things, there are key components to running an effective business in all lanes of business, and I think that even in the managed services space, like we deliver something very different. I don't think that we all know what what depths that our services deliver success into those customer ecosystems. And so having friends along the way, such as, strategic vendor partners and great distribution partners and marketplace partners, all of those things matter. And, obviously SuperOps takes it very seriously as well as the core and lifeblood of the MSP. And so we're paying attention to all these relationships and trying to stitch them all together in a way that is symbiotic and cohesive for their growth. And I feel like there's just been so many opportunities as we've grown this industry and basically forged a whole new path. We've come from somewhere where there wasn't all these things in front of us. There wasn't all this simplicity. And now we're in an era that there can be. And so it's been fun to put all these things together to be able to deliver on that and just watch to see the happiness and the lack of stress that a lot of the modern business owners in the MSP space are facing and talking about them. And they're just so excited about this future. So it's been an honor.
It's a crazy ride right now, I tell you. That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your MSP partners. If I'm an MSP, what are you guys looking for from an MSP? And then once they become a partner of yours, how can they become successful with you guys?
Yeah, I think the big thing is anytime you're, it's just like a relationship, like if you're dating, right? Like you need to know that these two things match up and that we're interested in doing things together. And I think that at the end of the day, and this is how I built my MSP, and this is how I'm working with SuperOps and how I've done all the things and all the businesses I've been a part of, is do I see myself being successful with you? Right. And I think that when you're looking at that, doing the due diligence around making sure that this partnership is the right one for you, that it meets your needs, that it actually takes you to where you want to go, and defining what success means to you starting off is important. And I don't know that we always approach every relationship as, hey, here's what success would be to me if this happened. And so a lot of MSPs get to a point where they're like, well, I really was excited about fixing a problem and I started playing with a bunch of tools and now I have a whole pile of tools, but I have no profitability.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that they started off with, but they got excited about something else. And then they started just grabbing all these things. And the next thing you know, I can't afford to be in business anymore. And that's a hard reality. So I think that, defining what that looks like, and I talk about two metrics, right? There's time to revenue and there's time to profitability. Those are two very different things. Just because a dollar came in the door doesn't mean it was a good dollar. And it doesn't mean it actually is going to be a dollar that stays. It could be a consumption-based dollar. And that's called operational expenses, right? Like, do we have enough of these revenue? Or do we have any profit? Those are two different things. And so one of the things with SuperOps I really appreciate is that we're the fastest to revenue, fastest to profitability, because with an MSP that comes in, you can get to work and get it deployed and get it sent out to your customer base, where a lot of other things are 30, 60, 90, right? And then a lot of that time, if you look at that compounded time is money. And so if it takes me 90 days, you want me to spend $40,000 to put your tool in place? That's really long. Like, I don't have an extra $40,000 to give you to do business with you. So how does what we do now equal money today and tomorrow? Or does it? And that's one of the metrics I would say when we look for MSPs that are trying to figure out, I'm like, what's important to you? Is playing with the tool important to you or profitability? Well, I really like the problem. Nobody ever says they don't want to make money, but yet we approach things that way because it's attractive. It's the shiny ball. It's really cool. And I kind of really want to play with that.
Right. Yeah. They do want to play with it. Yeah.
I don't have a mindset around, and for me, I'd rather have a wallet full of money.
Yeah.
I love playing with tools, but I really have a wallet full of money. So again, that's the learning lesson that I had from my previous company. So trying to frame that up for MSPs, that's where I'm like, are you sure you really want to play with the tool or do you want to make money? Let me ask you that. And so a good partner for us is one that wants to make money and have effective tools that increase productivity and drive profitability. If you want to play with tools, probably go waste time somewhere else, right? And that's where I'm like, well, hey, everyone's open to their own opinion in terms, and trust me, I learned my lesson, and so will they.
Right.
So
right. Yeah.
I can only lead you to water. I can't make you drink. And so that being said, good partners for us are those that are looking to be innovative. Those are the ones that are actually wanting to like dive in and like adopt new technologies, figure out how AI can work for them, looking at, unified tool sets. And I call it the glass slipper effect. Usually the ones that are the right fit, once they put their foot in, they don't take their foot out. And that's where we look for those perfect sized partners and making sure that we're delivering the thing that they need the most and all the things, because everybody's needs are different. And I don't want to say that any MSP is wrong. I don't want to say any MSP is right. It's just what's right for you in the success of what you define success. Like whatever your definition of success is what we're trying to get to. And if your definition of success is operations and tool sets and all this other stuff, hey, that's totally cool too. There's a whole world full of things.
Right.
So that's the beauty of the entrepreneurial journey. It's not, there's no one size fits all, but we're trying to create a size that fits a lot. And so we look for the right kind of customer, we look for the right MSP, and then we support them on that journey to try to get them to where they want to go.
Yeah, and supporting them with more than just the tool. It sounds like you guys do a lot more support than that.
Yeah, you can tap into all kinds of pieces of what we do. I mean, our AI, it's just constantly trying to help you understand your business and help you operate better, your tickets and your processes and your programs and your documentation. And, our support team is always working with you. So all of those to be said. And then on top of that, you can ping people like me anytime. Like I'm available. You can ping me on LinkedIn any day of the week and just be like, hey, Juan, I got a question. Like there's nobody that's not available to help through this whole journey. And so, yeah, we're just, here to support folks.
Well, so, I always ask on this, feedback. What are you guys hearing from your MSP partners right now?
Hearing in terms of?
Like what's on their minds? What are they worried about? What do you see as far as like, things that they're, I hate the phrase, keep them up at night, but you guys are in the security space. So
yeah, there's like a whole new era of managed services, right? And I actually just created a talk coming out that's actually, I'm going to release at ASCII Costa Mesa coming out here in a minute. And it's called MSP 5.0, Day One. What next? What do you do?
Yeah.
And really, it's just a question, and I think that that's really what's keeping them up. I already know that's a thing that's keeping people up is this next generation of managed services. What does it look like, right? And that's where there's this lot of uncertainty. We can latch on to the problems of today and the cybersecurity that we're dealing with, but I have a feeling that's shifting quite fast into something different moving into the future. And I won't give away what my talk is about, but a lot of that has to do with, and I think that there's an identity crisis moment right now with MSPs to figure out who I am today. Is that going to be good enough for tomorrow? Right. And that's what they're not saying is like, I'm doing something now, but I also see a future of the thing that I'm doing being not a thing that I'm doing. And I ask MSPs this all the time. If what you do today wasn't what you do tomorrow, what do you do next? And that's what this whole session is going to be about. And so I think that there's a couple of topics, right? If we just pick right off the top of you scrape the cream off the top of, the word about AI, right? The cybersecurity, we feel like we may made some inroads, but artificial intelligence is going to speed up so many things, and it could also speed up our irrelevance. And so I think that that's one of the things that everybody's kind of concerned about is thinking around what does this mean? Because we're watching this, like it's playing out on the grand stage across the globe, and we're watching artificial intelligence literally change markets overnight. There's no chance that none of us believe that it won't change ours. So that's one of the things I think that everybody's in the back of their mind thinking, like, what does this mean to me? And so we are addressing that. We at SuperOps have built artificial intelligence into our tool, one of the first people to have some of the stuff that we've released. And really looking at it as an empowerment tool. How do I make the people that are around us better? How do I make the data information flow into where I have visual aspects of it so that I can see how my business is operating and my customers, the way that, their infrastructures are functioning and all the things. So it's definitely a new era. So I hear a lot about that because I'm talking about creating a lot about that. And it's just been interesting. It's not like the cloud adoption era. There's not a lot of hesitance and resistance. I call AI the dirty little secret that everybody has. Every single person has touched ChatGPT.
Yes.
And that to be true, whether they want to admit it
Yeah.
or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see the patterns in some of how there's a lot of content being pushed about, and I can see the bulletized formats, right? Like it's like,
Right.
okay, we now have found Chat GPT, right?
Right.
So all that to be said, I think that that's the one thing where it's like, it's our, we're not telling anybody, but we are playing with that. And so I would say that that's probably the thing that no one's talking that much about is what we're actually thinking we're going to do with it. And that's not in super ops. We're very transparent about what we're doing with AI and how we're using it to empower them. But yeah, I just think that that's the thing keeping people up right now is this level of uncertainty.
Well, thank you for that. So last question. I can't believe we're almost in the third month of 2025, but what's on the roadmap for Super Ops this year that you would like to share, or can you share with
Yeah.
our audience?
One of the things and we did last year was make a lot of noise and watch and have a lot of fun around announcements and big things that we announced. So we launched Monica, our AI assistant. We had breakneck speed on integrations with strategic partners, and we launched our first ever ARM MPSA in PAX8's marketplace. First time an ARM MPSA has ever been in PAX8. And, it was just really wild to see like how small shifts in what you do could change everything. And this year will be no difference, right? This year we announced that we would be giving the MSP world a gift called VisionX. And inside of SuperOps, your ability to see yourself being successful in managed services would be a reality. And so that being said, we have our integrated marketplace launch coming with PAX8, which will be the first time it's ever been done with anybody. We have about right now, like 50 plus integrations that are coming from all kinds of vendors. Like it is just an absolute, rolling thunder this year of opportunity. But I think the really coolest part is to really pay attention to watch tracking a trend of MSPs that use super ops versus others and watching their growth trajectory. And that's really one of the things I think I'm the most excited about is to see how many MSPs that are grabbing onto the, the bulls of this horn, this horns of this bull and riding it and saying like, look how fast I'm going. Like that I am just like into the future here. So that's the one thing that I think I'm the most excited about for 2025 is to see that growth opportunity and really watch this industry just evolve. It's fun to watch, all the pressure that we've created and to see the things that others have now started to like push themselves to do. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm having a good time. And I think we're focused on the right thing, and that's our partner success. And we'll continue to drive that this year.
Well, I thank you so much for this. This has been a pleasure. And I love that you took some time out of your busy schedule. I know you just had a recording even before this, right? To do this. So I appreciate you, Juan. Thank you so much. And then thank you to all the MSPs that are listening to this Partner Playbook. We'll be back with more. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.